Okay, hi, my name is Kirk Rivas with Appliance Associates. Today we have a Whirlpool top load washer. It's an old washer from 1998, 1999. I think I sold these a while back. The model number on this thing is LSR8233EQ. The serial number, if somebody wants to look it up, is CG48888081. Probably manufactured in the 98 or 99 or maybe 2000, I'm not sure, but we only sold like 3 of these. So this is a haul away. So somebody bought a new washing machine. This was the one that got taken back or brought back to the shop. I don't quite remember when I sold it. I think it was a while back. But one thing I did notice that we tested it earlier today. The Agitator dogs had to be replaced, so we put a new fresh pair of those. So now it's all going back and forth, and that's probably why they replaced it, because it wasn't performing as well. And they just probably thought it was a transmission or something like that. So a lot of people think that the top portion of this Agitator doesn't turn. It's the kiss of death, but really it's not a bad thing. Let's kind of look at this console here. See, it is the Ultimate Care Heavy Duty Super Capacity Plus, and what that means, it's a 3.2 cubic foot. If it just said Super Capacity, it would be 3.0 cubic feet, and if it said Extra Large Capacity, it would be a 2.5 cubic foot. Load size, it has Small, Medium, and Super Plus. Wash temperatures and rinse temperatures are going to be cold, warm, and hot. And all the rinses are cold. So let me we're zoomed in on that. So the button on the far left is the load size. So it has 3 settings, right? So let's hear it click. So it's very obvious where you're at. You do have an indicator on the knob, and you can just turn it to the like 11 o'clock position. That small, medium is at 12 o'clock, and around 1 o'clock is Super Plus. So there's only 3 positions. You can't go wrong. So if we do jeans today, we're gonna probably use Super Plus. And then the next knob over, a couple inches to the right, you have 3 clicks as well. So the first click at the 11 o'clock position is cold wash, cold rinse. 12 o'clock position is warm wash, cold rinse. 1 o'clock position is hot wash, cold rinse. So you can hear those clicking. Real obvious where you're at. It does have an indicator on the knob, so you can feel where you're at. But it's easy to determine that even without the indicator. So let's move over to the far right knob. That's your timer. It's a mechanical timer, no electronics really. It does have a black knob, and let's take a look at this knob. Let's spin it off. Yeah, so this is the upgraded knob. The first iteration of this washer had like a plastic knob, where this I guess the main portion of the knob where it screws into the timer was plastic, and those would break all the time, and people would replace them. These knobs got to be about like 20 bucks a piece back in the day, but they did reinforce this. This is one of the few times where I've seen they changed the design of the part because it was failing too much, so they went with this like a steel knob, and then the outside of course would match the washer. But if the white one wasn't available, the black one would work just fine. So the console's white, but it has a black knob. Just spin it on, and once it tightens up, you're good. So so on the timer, it's getting hot, so I'm gonna turn on the air conditioning. Okay, so on the timer, if you start at the 9 o'clock position, you have Super Wash. Well, it's a normal cycle basically from the 9 o'clock position up to 12 o'clock. It's a normal cycle, and it has, if you start it at 9 o'clock, the soil level will be Super Wash. Then you have Heavy. Click it some more clockwise. You got Regular. Then you have Light, and then it goes to the rinse and spin and all that stuff. And if you start at the 1 o'clock position, that's where the permanent press cycle starts, and you can go all the way down to about the 4 o'clock position where it turns off. does have a cool down, so, I guess it washes for a little bit, and then there's a pause. I'm not sure on the permanent press, because when I came back to it, I thought something was wrong with it, but it was sitting on pause. And I just kind of clicked it over and it started washing again. So we'll study that later. And then if you start at the 4 o'clock position, you have your delicates, and then around the 7 o'clock position, you start off with the hand washables. So this is a 2-speed motor. Let's go back where it says 2-speed, right there. So 2-speed motor, what that means, that is you're going to have a regular agitation with a fast spin, or a regular spin, and then if you select it over to delicates, it's going to do a slower agitation with a slower spin. And hand wash would probably be a very short delicate cycle, or it could wash for a couple minutes and soak for a couple of minutes. We can study that too. So maybe we'll go around the horn on this one, take it day by day, and start. We're going to do the super wash first, and then maybe the next video we'll do the permanent press cycle. So no soap. Still haven't bought any soap yet. I don't go to the grocery store very often. Usually my wife goes, and I just haven't asked her to buy extra soap, so sorry about that. Let's see. What agitator? So, okay, let's take a look at the agitator before we load. Dual action. You do have the fabric softener here, and it fits in right in the center of the agitator. It does have the fins at the very bottom. I guess the wash plate has the blades. They're pretty aggressive, and then you have the augering system right here. So it will auger one direction, and then it will lock the other direction, so the clothes it naturally gets pushed down to the scrubber, and a little bit quicker than it would without the dual action. So this is very aggressive. It does a good job cleaning, but it does put a little bit more wear and tear on your clothes. So if you have really nice clothes, you might want to use delicate, but if you have like really heavy, dirty stuff, this thing will perform really well. Probably perform better than like the one-piece agitator from some other brands like Speed Clean and some other places like that. So we're going to put the 5 pair of jeans. We got to get them out with the Speed Clean. Oops. Oops. Okay, so we're going to put, these are still damp from the washer from the last video we ran. There's 2. Three. Going real slow because I have to reach over a bunch of wires. We'll see how this washer acts with 5 pair of jeans. It may not wash very well. I don't know what the true problem with this washer is. The only thing we really found at this point was the agitator dogs, and the agitator dogs are what helps this thing auger down. So we got that. I think we're ready to go. So we got the 5 pair of jeans loaded, and let's find the cycle we're going to run. We're going to do the super wash. Let me kind of go all the way around the horn, and I think it's pointing to 18. I think we're good. Yeah, pull it. It's filling up. Okay, I'm going to turn off the air conditioner so we can hear the wash. Okay, so Mad Dog Millionaire asked me if I plan on filming a traditional speed queen with a 2018 model Agitator. Everything has to bolt up correctly for that to happen. I haven't studied it yet, so that's still up in the air. Sorry about that. Shout out to Dylan. What's going on? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, this knob is definitely not the original knob. It's just, I guess at the time maybe the white knob wasn't available, so the customer opted to buy the whatever knob was available. There's three knobs. You had the white, black, then you have the bisque, which is like a off-white. And at the very end, these knobs got to be about $29, $35. Detergent of choice today. I'm not using detergent today, guys. I could put an additive in there to kind of help with this, you know, with some little bit of bubbles. I can do that. I won't tell you what the additive is, but I'll add some, see what happens. DC Dr. T, what's up, man? Yeah, I remember a washer like this growing up too. To me, it could have filled up with a little bit more water than that. It should have been about maybe a couple more inches, but where it's super plus, that's as high as it'll go. So I turned the load size a little bit. Somebody says if you put it in between, maybe it fills up. Let's see if we can max this out. Yeah, so I remember somebody saying this, like you can put the knob in between load sizes and it'll fill up. So we're going to do that. Okay, I think that's enough water. PC Doctor 2 asked if this is a hallway, and it is. Basically, it is a hallway washroom. Not much wrong with it, but we'll determine that later. So let's take a look at the control panel or the knob and see where we're at. It's kind of hard to see. Okay. Okay, so it looks like we're right about here, right before rinse. So somebody said to turn it off. Turn it back on. There we go. So now we're spinning. Sorry. So good question, Casey. Hopefully somebody will be able to answer that. So what's wrong with it? So the noise, it was making a noise. It sounded like it was pumping, but the tub wasn't turning. So I turned it off, turned it back on, and then it started to spin a little bit. But then it advanced a little bit more into the cycle, where now it's filling up again. So I'm not too sure what's going on. So Sharky 626 says it's a bad neutral pack. And, you know, to me, that's the kiss of death with this washer. I don't think I'm going to open this up and try to fix it. I was going to give it away to somebody, but I don't want to give this washer away when it's doing that. So it's going to probably go outside. If maybe one of the rebuilders can pick it up, or scrap metal guy. Probably not the scrap metal guy. I'm sure somebody will pick it up to rebuild it. Yeah, so AFV fan asked if I can do just water on hand wash. So that's possible. The hard part is trying to remember to do that cycle. So the more you ask, the more chance you'll get you get to see that in action. So. Okay, so Sharky suggests don't throw it out. So I'll probably find a rebuilder, let them buy it from me or something like that. I mean, this washer, like to the rebuilders, I can sell it. You know, they'll give me like 30 to 40 bucks, sometimes 50 bucks for something like this. All right, I'm going back to the front. It's very hot in here, so. So on the label, it says Whirlpool Corporation, Benton Harbor, Michigan. So I don't know if it's manufactured there or not. We'll see. Oh, is that a train? Sure, it's supposed to be spinning right now, guys. I'm gonna stop it. Okay, I'm gonna pull it. There we go. so let's take a look at the control panel, make sure it's turned off. Pretty sure it's done. Yeah, so it's in the off position. Let's take a look at that off position real quick. Right there. It's a big off position. You got all this space right here. So I think we're done. So this washer does need a little bit of work, and that's the type of work I'm not willing to do on this washer. So I put some new agitator dogs. That's about it. But as far as fixing that, I think they called the what was that? They call that some kind of a brake or something. The spin gear. Oh, the neutral pack. So the neutral pack is shot, according to some of these Downs Life and Safety, I think. So, but I'm not going to mess with that. It could get you by if you had this washer, and you're willing just to kind of deal with it. You'll have a decent washer. Your clothes will get clean, but you have to stay on top of it. Or you can have somebody do the job for you, pay somebody to do it. But I'm sure technicians here in Austin wouldn't be very cheap on that. You'll probably spend a couple $100 for somebody to do the job. But it's only worth it if you do the job yourself. Unless you just wanted somebody, wanted to have this machine regardless of price. So there's other options out there, but a lot of people, like the person who bought this washer, or who bought a new washer and replaced this one, they could be wishing that they would have fixed the old one, because some of these new machines are so different in their washing performance and how long they wash and all that stuff and the noises that they make. They could be kicking themselves and saying, I wish I would have fixed my old washer, even if it cost $500. So some people are like that. I had a customer, I think they bought a GTW330 from me back in 2017, and it's not working correctly anymore. They came into my shop asking if it still had warranty. Unfortunately it does not, but they didn't like the machine well enough to invest into fixing it. So they bought the machine. It lasted a couple of years, or 3 years, and now they're buying the Maytag MVWP 575, which is a better washer. Their big complaint on the GE was that the tub was huge, but only filled up about halfway to 3/4, which I've seen. So I gave them a good deal on the Maytag. I gave them free delivery and all that stuff, and they're one of my customers. I've probably had them for about 10-15 years. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I want to say goodbye to everybody. If you have any questions or comments, please post those, and I'll try to get to those as soon as I can. And we'll see you next video.